Before anything else, pause and truly feel this moment. This is not something casual, not something random that just happened to cross your path. You didn't simply stumble onto this message by coincidence. Something deeper pulled you here, something ancient and precise, something that has been tracking your energy long before you even became aware of it. And right now, in this exact breath, the universe is speaking directly to you. Chosen one, this message is not for everyone, and you already feel that truth resonating somewhere inside your chest. It is meant for you because something has shifted in the unseen layers of your life. Something silent, something cosmic, something beyond human understanding has been observing you, measuring your resilience, your patience, your faith. And now, the energy has changed. But listen closely, because alignment does not only come through awareness, it also comes through action. When the universe begins to open doors, it places tools in your path, resources that are meant to elevate you, sharpen you, and prepare you for the level you are stepping into. That is why this moment is not just about awakening, it is about transformation. And for those of you who are ready to move beyond survival and step into abundance, there is something I need to bring into your awareness. You have just released a powerful audiobook titled 7 Habits of Highly Successful People That Can Make You Rich. This is not just another collection of ideas. It is a structured activation of discipline, mindset, and behavior that aligns with the very shift you are experiencing right now. Because understand this, spiritual awakening without grounded action leaves potential unrealized. And this audiobook bridges that gap. It speaks to the part of you that is ready to rise not only energetically, but financially, mentally, and strategically. If you feel that pull, that quiet knowing that you are meant for more than where you are right now, then trust that feeling. The link to this audiobook is waiting for you in the description and in the first pinned comment. Do not ignore what is being placed in front of you. Sometimes the next step in your destiny arrives as knowledge, as guidance, as a voice that shows you how to move differently. This may be one of those moments. And now, as we go deeper, understand this clearly. You are not here by accident. You are here because you passed. No one told you there was a test. There were no instructions handed to you, no clear signs explaining what you were being prepared for. Instead, there was confusion, silence, and a kind of pressure that seemed to come from nowhere. You were placed into situations that didn't make sense, surrounded by people who didn't understand you, facing challenges that felt unfair and overwhelming. People walked away from you at the exact moments you needed them the most, and doors closed without explanation, leaving you questioning everything. The pain didn't feel justified, and the struggle didn't feel deserved. But what you didn't realize in those moments was that every single experience was being observed on a level beyond human perception. Every time you chose not to break, even when you were exhausted, every time you remained kind in a world that felt cold, every time you held your integrity when it would have been easier to give up, you were being tested, not by other people, not by random circumstances, but by something far greater than anything you could see. And now, chosen one, that test has come to an end. You believed you were losing people, but the truth is far deeper than that. You were being separated carefully and intentionally. There is a difference, and you can feel it when you look back. The path you are walking is not designed to be crowded, because it carries a sacred frequency that not everyone can align with. It is precise, intentional, and divinely orchestrated, and because of that, the universe had to begin clearing the noise around you. That is why conversations that once felt meaningful started to feel empty. That is why connections you once depended on began to fade without clear reason. That is why even the places that once felt like home started to feel unfamiliar, almost as if you no longer belonged there. It wasn't abandonment, even though it felt like it. It was alignment. You were being repositioned, adjusted, and prepared for a higher frequency of existence. And the truth is, where you are going next requires a different level of energy, a different level of awareness, and not everyone can follow you there. There were battles you fought that no one else ever saw. No one heard the thoughts that echoed through your mind in the quiet hours of the night, and no one felt the weight that pressed down on your chest when everything seemed uncertain. There were moments when you came dangerously close to giving up, moments where the darkness felt overwhelming, where continuing forward seemed almost impossible, but you didn't stop. And that is what makes this moment so powerful. Your strength was not built in front of others, not shaped by recognition or applause, but forged in silence, in isolation, in the unseen corners of your life. Every tear you held back, every moment you pushed through despite the pain, every time you chose to rise when it would have been easier to fall, those moments were counted. They mattered more than you realized. Every quiet victory was recorded. Every internal battle was acknowledged on a level you could not see. And now, as everything begins to shift, you are starting to understand that those struggles were never meaningless. They were preparation. They were the test. And you passed it. This is the moment where the energy begins to shift in a way you can no longer ignore. June 11th is not just symbolic. It carries a real energetic weight, a portal-like opening in your personal timeline that marks the transition between what was and what is about to be. It is a recalibration point where the delays you experienced begin to release their grip, where the blocks that once held you back start to dissolve, and where the clarity you have been searching for finally begins to reveal itself. But understand this clearly. The reward that is unfolding is not only material or external. It is something deeper, something spiritual, something that aligns your inner world with your outer reality. It is the moment where confusion turns into understanding, where pain transforms into purpose, and where everything you endured starts to make sense. On this day, something within you awakens, and you begin to see the bigger picture that was hidden from you all along. There were moments when you asked for a sign, sometimes out loud, sometimes quietly within yourself. In times of doubt, in moments of pain, when you felt like you were walking forward without direction, you questioned everything. You wondered if you were on the right path, if any of your efforts were truly leading somewhere meaningful, if there was something greater guiding your steps, or if you were simply moving through chaos. Those questions did not go unheard. Every time you reached out, every time you searched for confirmation, it was acknowledged. And now, in this moment, you are receiving the answer you have been waiting for. Not through coincidence, but through divine timing that aligns perfectly with where you are in your journey. This message is your confirmation that you were never lost, even when it felt that way. You were being positioned, guided through experiences that were shaping you into who you are meant to become. Even in your loneliest moments, when it felt like there was no one beside you, you were never truly alone. There was a presence with you the entire time, something unseen yet deeply felt, something that guided you even when you could not recognize it. It watched over you, protected you, and ensured that no matter how difficult things became, you would not fall beyond recovery. When situations in your life began to collapse, they never completely destroyed you. When you felt like you had reached your lowest point, something always intervened. Something always kept you from breaking entirely. That was not luck, and it was not random chance. It was divine intervention, a force that has been working in your life behind the scenes, ensuring that your journey continues forward. Because your path is not ordinary. It is intentional, protected, and aligned with something far greater than what you can see. And no matter what has happened, your destiny remains untouched, waiting for you to fully step into it. Lately, something has felt different, and even if you can't fully explain it, you know it is real. It's in the way your energy moves, in the way certain things no longer affect you the same way they used to, in the quiet sense that something is changing beneath the surface of your reality. You may have noticed that what once triggered you now feels distant, almost irrelevant, as if your soul has outgrown the need to react the way it once did. There is a strange calm replacing old chaos, a subtle detachment forming where there used to be emotional intensity. This is not numbness. This is elevation. Your frequency is shifting, rising beyond the level where old patterns could reach you. And while it may feel unfamiliar, even uncomfortable at times, this is the exact transformation you were being prepared for. The universe is recalibrating you, aligning your inner world with the next phase of your journey. You are not the same person you were before, and you are not meant to be. This shift is proof that something greater is already in motion. You may have started to notice that certain habits, routines, or even relationships that once felt normal are now beginning to fall apart without warning. Things that once held your attention now feel heavy, draining, or simply out of place. It might even feel like parts of your life are unraveling, as if the foundation you once stood on is no longer stable. But this is not destruction. It is purification. The universe is removing what no longer aligns with who you are becoming. Old patterns cannot survive in a higher frequency, and so they begin to dissolve, sometimes gently, sometimes abruptly. This process can feel unsettling because it forces you to release what is familiar, even if that familiarity was limiting you. But understand this: what is leaving your life now was never meant to follow you into your next chapter. It served its purpose, it taught you what you needed to learn, and now it is making space for something more aligned, something more powerful, something that matches the energy you are stepping into. There is an energy building around you, something that feels almost electric, almost magnetic, as if the universe itself is preparing to deliver something significant into your life. This is not imagination. This is the energy of divine reward, activating. For everything you endured, for every moment you chose growth over comfort, for every time you stayed true to yourself despite the pressure to conform, there is a return being prepared for you. And this return is not random or accidental. It is precise, calculated by the very forces that guided you through your hardest moments. You are stepping into a phase where effort meets manifestation, where patience meets results, where faith meets tangible reality. But this reward is not just about receiving. It is about recognizing your worth, your strength, your resilience, and understanding that what is coming into your life now is a direct reflection of who you have become. What is about to happen next may feel sudden, almost unexpected, as if doors begin to open in ways you did not anticipate. Opportunities may appear out of nowhere, Connections may form effortlessly, and situations that once seemed impossible may start to shift in your favor. This is not coincidence. This is alignment. The doors that are opening now were always meant for you, but they required you to reach a certain level of readiness before they could appear. And now you are there. The timing is no longer delayed. The path is no longer blocked, and the resistance that once held you back is beginning to dissolve. But with these open doors comes a choice. You must be willing to walk through them without hesitation, without doubt, without looking back at what you left behind. Because what lies ahead is not just an opportunity, it is the next step in your destiny. Just as everything begins to shift, you may find yourself facing one final challenge, one last moment that feels like a test of everything you have learned. This can be confusing, even frustrating, because it may feel like you are being pulled back just as you are about to move forward. But this is not a setback. This is confirmation. The final test appears not to stop you, but to solidify you, to ensure that you are truly ready for what is coming next. It is a moment where you are asked to respond differently than you would have before, to choose growth over reaction, clarity over confusion, strength over fear. And when you pass this final test, and you will feel the shift immediately. The resistance will lift, the path will clear, and everything that was waiting for you will begin to move toward you with undeniable force. There is a voice within you that has been growing stronger, more persistent, more impossible to ignore. It is not loud in the traditional sense, but it carries a clarity that cuts through doubt and confusion. This is your intuition, your inner guidance, your direct connection to the higher forces that are guiding your journey. And right now, it is becoming louder because you are being called to trust it more than ever before. You may notice that you are sensing things before they happen, that you are feeling guided towards certain decisions without logical explanation, that you are becoming more aware of what feels right and what does not. This is not accidental. This is activation. Your awareness is expanding, your perception is sharpening, and your connection to your higher self is strengthening. And as this voice continues to rise, it will lead you exactly where you need to go, if you are willing to listen. There is a reason why you, out of so many, were placed on this path. It is not because you are better than others, but because you are capable of carrying what this path requires. You have a depth within you, a resilience, a level of awareness that allows you to move through challenges in a way that transforms you rather than breaks you. Your experiences, your struggles, your moments of doubt, they were not random. They were shaping you, preparing you, refining you into someone who can handle what is coming next. Being chosen does not mean the journey is easy. It means the journey is meaningful. It means there is a purpose behind everything you have faced, and that purpose is now beginning to reveal itself. You are not here to live an ordinary life. You are here to step into something greater, something aligned with your true nature, something that reflects the full power of who you are becoming. There was a moment, quiet and almost unnoticeable at first, when something inside you shifted from chasing to aligning. You may not have marked it on a calendar, but your soul remembers it clearly. It was the moment you grew tired of forcing outcomes, tired of proving your worth, tired of running after things that never fully chose you. Something within you decided, even if unconsciously, that you would no longer beg for what was meant to come naturally. And in that moment, everything began to change. because the universe does not respond to desperation. It responds to alignment. When you stopped chasing, you created space. When you released control, you allowed flow. And now, what once felt distant is beginning to move toward you, without force. This is the power of alignment, and you have stepped into it without even realizing how significant that shift truly was. People can feel it, even if they don't understand it. The energy you carry now is not the same as it was before. There is a presence about you, something grounded, yet powerful, something calm, yet undeniable. You are no longer easily shaken by things that once disrupted your peace. You observe more than you react. You sense more than you speak. And this transformation did not happen overnight. It was built through every challenge you faced, every lesson you learned, every time you chose growth over comfort. This new energy is magnetic. It draws the right people toward you while naturally pushing the wrong ones away. It creates opportunities without effort and shifts dynamics without confrontation. You are becoming someone who no longer needs to prove their worth, because your presence speaks for itself. And this energy is exactly what is preparing you for what comes next. As you continue to move forward, things that were once hidden from you will begin to reveal themselves with startling clarity. Truths you couldn't see before will suddenly become obvious. You may start to recognize patterns in people's behavior, understand past situations in a completely different light, and see through illusions that once confused you. This can feel overwhelming at first, because it forces you to confront realities that you may not have been ready to face before. But this clarity is a gift. It is the removal of illusion, the lifting of a veil that once kept you in uncertainty. And while some of these revelations may be uncomfortable, they are necessary for your growth, because you cannot step into your next level while holding on to misunderstandings from your past. The truth is not here to hurt you. It is here to free you. There was a time when your past felt heavy, when memories held emotional weight that seemed impossible to release. Certain experiences replayed in your mind, certain wounds felt like they would never fully heal. But something has changed. The past is no longer controlling you the way it once did. It may still exist in your memory, but it no longer defines your present. You have reached a point where you can look back without being pulled back. And that is a level of strength that cannot be taught. It must be earned. This is how you know you have truly grown. Not because the past disappeared, but because it lost its power over you. And now, without that weight holding you down, you are free to move forward with clarity, with purpose, and with a sense of direction that was once impossible to find. The universe has been sending you signs, subtle at first, but now becoming impossible to ignore. You may notice patterns, repeated numbers, unexpected confirmations, or moments that feel too perfectly timed to be random. These are not coincidences. They are signals, reminders that you are on the right path, that you are being guided even when you cannot see the full picture. The more aware you become, the more these signs seem to appear, almost as if reality itself is responding to your attention. And in many ways, it is. You are becoming more connected, more aligned, more receptive to the guidance that has always been there. But now, you are finally able to recognize it. These signs are not here to confuse you. They are here to reassure you, to confirm that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. As you stand on the edge of this transformation, there may still be moments where fear tries to pull you back. It may come in the form of doubt, hesitation, or the sudden urge to retreat into what is familiar. This is natural. Fear often appears when you are closest to growth, when you are about to step into something unknown yet significant. But this fear is not a warning. It is a test. It is the final echo of your old self, trying to keep you within the boundaries of what it understands. And while it may feel convincing, it does not hold the truth. You have already moved beyond the version of yourself that needed to stay small, that needed to stay safe. And now, you are being called to move forward, despite the fear, to trust in the path that is unfolding before you. Because on the other side of that fear is everything you have been preparing for. There will come a moment, and it is closer than you think, where everything clicks into place. A moment where doubt fades, where clarity takes over, where you no longer question whether you are on the right path because you can feel it with absolute certainty. This is the moment you fully step into your destiny. It is not loud or dramatic in the way you might expect. It is powerful in its stillness, in its certainty, in its undeniable truth. You will know without needing validation that you are exactly where you are meant to be. And from that moment forward, everything begins to flow differently. Decisions become clearer, opportunities become more aligned, and your path becomes more defined. This is not the end of your journey. It is the beginning of a new chapter, one where you move with confidence, with purpose, and with a deep understanding of who you are and where you are going. What felt like everything falling apart in your life was never destruction. It was a controlled collapse, divinely orchestrated to make space for something far greater. At the time, it may have felt chaotic, painful, even unfair, as if everything you built or believed in was being taken from you piece by piece. But now, as you stand on the edge of this new phase, you can begin to see it differently. What collapsed was never stable enough to hold the version of you that you are becoming. It had to break so that something stronger, something more aligned, could take its place. The universe does not remove something unless it has already prepared something better. And even though you could not see it then, every loss, every ending, every moment of uncertainty was clearing the path for your rise. This was not the end of your story. It was the restructuring of your foundation, preparing you for a level you were not yet ready to stand on before. As your energy continues to shift, you will begin to notice new people entering your life, and these connections will feel different from anything you have experienced before. They will not require you to prove yourself, to shrink yourself, or to question your worth. Instead, they will meet you where you are, reflecting the growth you have gone through and the energy you now carry. These are not random encounters. These are aligned connections, individuals who resonate with your frequency, who understand you without explanation, who support your path without resistance. Some of them will be temporary, guiding you through specific moments, while others will remain, becoming part of your journey in a more lasting way. But all of them will serve a purpose. And the reason they can now enter your life is because you have become the version of yourself that can receive them. You are no longer attracting from a place of lack. You are attracting from a place of alignment. There was a time when you doubted whether what you desired could ever become reality. You questioned whether your dreams were too far out of reach, too unrealistic, too disconnected from your current circumstances. But what you are about to experience will challenge those doubts in ways you did not expect. Manifestation is no longer something distant or abstract. It is becoming tangible, real, undeniable. What you once imagined is beginning to take form, not because of luck, but because of the internal work you have done to align yourself with it. You are starting to understand that manifestation is not about wishing, it is about becoming. And you have become someone who can hold what you once thought was impossible. This is why it is now moving toward you. Not because you chased it, but because you grew into it. For a long time, you underestimated yourself. You questioned your strength, your value, your ability to handle the challenges placed in front of you. But now, something is shifting. You are beginning to see yourself clearly, without the distortions of doubt or fear. You are recognizing the power that has always been within you, the resilience that carried you through your hardest moments, the awareness that allowed you to grow when others would have stayed the same. This recognition is not arrogance, it is clarity. It is the understanding that you are capable of far more than you once believed. And as this awareness deepens, it changes the way you move through the world. You no longer seek validation from others because you have found it within yourself. You no longer question your path because you trust where it is leading you. This is the moment where you step into your power fully, without hesitation. As everything begins to come together, you will have a realization that changes the way you view your entire journey. You will see that nothing you went through was wasted. Every experience, every challenge, every moment of pain served a purpose that is now becoming clear. The delays were not pointless, the struggles were not meaningless, the waiting was not in vain. It was all part of a process that was shaping you into exactly who you needed to become. And when you see this, when you truly understand it, something inside you shifts permanently. You no longer carry regret for what you went through, because you see the value in it. You no longer question why things happened the way they did, because you understand that they could not have happened any other way. This realization brings a sense of peace, a sense of closure, and a deep sense of gratitude for a journey that once felt so difficult to endure. There is a moment, subtle yet powerful, where you can feel it without needing to hear it spoken. It is the moment where the universe acknowledges you, where everything around you begins to reflect the truth that you have made it through. It is not announced loudly, but it is felt deeply, like a quiet confirmation that resonates through your entire being. This is the moment where the universe says, "You passed," not because everything was perfect, but because you continued despite imperfection. Not because you never struggled, but because you never stopped growing. This acknowledgement is not external, it is internal. It is the sense of knowing that you have crossed a threshold, that you have reached a point where you are no longer the same person you once were. And from this moment forward, everything begins to respond to you differently, because you are no longer operating from the same level of awareness. Right now, you are standing at the edge of a portal, a transition point between who you were and who you are becoming. This is not something you can see with your eyes, but you can feel it in your energy, in the way everything around you seems to be shifting and aligning at the same time. This portal represents a new phase of your life, one that carries a different frequency, a different level of awareness, a different set of experiences waiting to unfold. But stepping through it requires trust. It requires you to release the last remnants of doubt, to let go of what no longer belongs to you, and to move forward with confidence into the unknown. This is not a leap into darkness, it is a step into alignment. And once you cross this threshold, there is no going back to who you were before. You are moving into something greater, something that has been waiting for you all along. As you stand fully at the threshold of this transformation, there is one final release that must take place, and it is the release of your old self. This is not about forgetting who you were or denying your past, but about letting go of the identity that was shaped by survival, fear, and limitation. For so long, you operated from a place of protecting yourself, guarding your energy, bracing for disappointment, and preparing for the worst. That version of you served a purpose. It carried you through moments that required strength you didn't know you had. But now, that version is no longer needed. Holding on to it will only keep you anchored to a reality you have already outgrown. This release may feel emotional, even uncomfortable, because it requires you to step into the unknown without the familiar armor you once relied on. But understand this clearly: you are not losing yourself. You are shedding what was never meant to define you permanently. And as you let it go, you create space for your true self to emerge fully, without fear, without resistance, without limitation. Now, as June 11th marks this powerful shift in your journey, the energy of your divine reward begins to unfold in ways that may feel both subtle and profound at the same time. It may not arrive all at once, but you will begin to notice it in the small shifts first. The ease replacing struggle, the clarity replacing confusion, the sense of peace replacing inner conflict. And then gradually, it expands into something greater. Opportunities align with your path, doors open with less resistance, and the things you once had to fight for begin to flow toward you naturally. This reward is not just about external success. It is about internal alignment. It is about feeling grounded in who you are, confident in where you are going, and secure in the knowledge that you are supported by something greater than yourself. This is the return for everything you have endured, everything you have learned, everything you have become. And as it unfolds, you will realize that it was always meant for you. The life you are stepping into now is not a continuation of your past. It is an entirely new chapter, shaped by the version of you that has been forged through experience, growth, and transformation. This life feels different because you are different. You approach situations with clarity instead of confusion, with intention instead of reaction, with confidence instead of doubt. The challenges you face no longer feel like obstacles meant to stop you, but opportunities that strengthen you further. You begin to move through life with a sense of purpose that cannot be shaken, a sense of direction that does not depend on external validation. And as you continue forward, you will notice that things align more naturally, that the right people appear at the right time, that the path ahead becomes clearer with each step you take. This is the life that was waiting for you on the other side of your transformation. And now, you are finally ready to live it fully. And now, chosen one, this is where everything comes together. This is where the message becomes clear, undeniable, and deeply personal. The universe has been guiding you, shaping you, preparing you for this exact moment. Every challenge you faced, every delay you endured, every moment of doubt you overcame, it was all leading you here. And now, the message is simple, yet powerful. You passed. You made it through what was meant to break you, and instead, it transformed you. You stayed true to your path even when it was unclear, even when it was difficult, even when you felt alone. And because of that, you are now stepping into alignment with your true purpose. But listen carefully. Because this is where many people hesitate. Awakening is not the end. It is the beginning of responsibility. It is the moment where you are called to act differently, to move differently, to build differently. The universe does not elevate you just to leave you where you are. It elevates you so you can create, expand, and step into the life that has been waiting for you. That is why, at this exact point in your journey, something has been placed in your path for a reason. The audiobook, 7 Habits of Highly Successful People That Can Make You Rich, is not just content. It is guidance designed to help you translate this inner awakening into real-world transformation. Because being chosen is not just about feeling aligned. It is about becoming disciplined, intentional, and focused in the physical world as well. This audiobook carries principles that ground your energy, sharpen your mindset, and guide your actions so that the abundance meant for you can actually take form in your life. If you feel that quiet certainty within you, that sense that you are ready to step into more, to rise beyond where you've been, to claim what is already aligning for you, then trust that feeling. Do not delay what is being offered to you. The link to this audiobook is waiting for you in the description and in the first pinned comment. Sometimes the next level of your destiny is unlocked, not just by belief, but by the knowledge you choose to apply. This may be that moment for you, so do not question this anymore. Do not shrink back into who you used to be. Step forward with clarity. Step forward with power. Step forward knowing that everything you have been through has prepared you for what is now unfolding.